Welcome to TLRSHOWS. My name is Ansh Chandna, and I'm a penultimate year sociology student at the University of Warwick. I am the sports coordinator and the head of finance for the Warwick Indian Society, and I'm also the campus ambassador for Rate My Placement, which is a UK based firm that focuses on helping students obtain internships and jobs in the UK. TLR shows are flagship live stream shows brought to you by TLR Now, a niche coaching, training, and mentoring program based out of Pune, India, and they are expanding to other countries as well. Children, when decide not to speak out about the trauma they go through, when bullied and hold their emotions, which means they have to deal with it all by themselves, keep in mind these are very young people. Bottling up emotions really isn't good for them, for their mental health, and it can lead to depression, anxiety, stress, and even have a large impact on their future. Let's agree that a child who is bullied, or who is a bully, or those who witness bullying all go through an experience. The future is about how today's children are raised and what they experience. There are some people, however, who are changing the ways in which bullying is now dealt with. Such innovative ways. And today, our guest is going to talk about such an innovative way that she's come up with. So we have with us Ishita Karuturi, an eighth grader from Dubai, who is the overall ideator and creator of this app called Dunkabully. She's 13 years old and she goes to GEMS Wellington International School. She is going to talk to us about Dunkabully. To get started, we would like to know more about you. Who is Ishita Karuturi?
Thank you so much. So I am a year 8 middle school student in Dubai, and like Ansh said, I go to GEMS Wellington International School, and I am an innovation and digital technology scholarship student. I am also a TEDx speaker and the winner of the 2019 Young City Makers Championship and the overall ideator and creator of the app Dunkabully.
Ishita, what according to you is bullying?
So what I would say bullying is I think bullying is an intentional and targeted undesirable behavior that happens over a long duration of time. It's not something that happens once, and if it's not intended, it's usually not bullying. When being bullied, it's crucial that you speak to someone because bullying has now been normalized and we need to change that. So if you speak out when you're being bullied, you can get the help that you need. Ansh, have you ever experienced bullying or seen someone being bullied?
I can't say that I have. I fortunately went to a place for school and even for university where there was no sort of bullying at the time when I was there. So there was nothing of the sort. But I've had friends who have been bullied, either in school or I don't know. I mean, other places. But it is a very demeaning experience. That's all I can say because it's never personally happened to me.
Yeah, but I'm sure you've experienced rudeness, which is another type of intentional and undesirable behavior, but it doesn't happen over a duration of time. Even though it's not bullying, it shouldn't be tolerated, really. And if someone's being rude to you, you should really tell them, that wasn't very nice, don't do it again. And if they've done something that's really offensive, you should really tell a teacher or a trusted adult.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I mean, world leaders have just told everyone to, follow world peace. And the people today are just, throwing it all away by being rude and, not understanding the other person's point of view.
Exactly, and it should never be tolerated.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Do you think the development of technology somehow has an impact on the increase of bullying, with all the cyberbullying and all of that?
I definitely think that the development of technology has resulted in an increase of bullying. So, if we think about it, there's four different kinds of bullying. There's physical bullying, social bullying, verbal bullying, and cyberbullying. So, physical bullying has to do with exerting power over peers using your body, such as punching, kicking. Social bullying could be leaving someone out or spreading rumors about them. Verbal bullying is using your words to hurt someone and makes them feel uncomfortable. And then we come to cyberbullying, which is bullying over social media, gaming platforms, phones, tablets, computers. Have you ever seen cyberbullying happen? Because it can even be something as little as a hate comment.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's never personally happened to me, but I've seen a lot of places. For a lot of famous people, something of this sort happens. They get a lot of hate mail, they get hate comments, all of that. So I've seen sorts of stuff happening, but again, I can't say that it has happened to me.
Yeah, so before the development of technology, we didn't have to worry about this whole new category of bullying called cyberbullying. And if we didn't have cyberbullying, that would take a huge weight off our shoulders. Currently, cyberbullying is the most common kind of bullying because now our world literally revolves around technology. And even children as young as age 6, if not younger, are on social media platforms and gaming platforms with no adult supervision, and it gets them into all kinds of trouble. Everything is on social media now and our devices, and it's led to a massive increase in bullying, whether it's leaving rude comments on someone's post or posting something that's negative and harmful towards someone else, revealing private information. And sometimes people even cyberbully without realizing. Technology has resulted in a massive increase of bullying.
I agree with you, but do you at the same time think that because of social media, it's easier to, get your opinions out and make them reach a larger audience in a way to actually try to stop bullying as well?
Yeah, so the thing is, social media isn't all bad. Like you said, it's a great platform to reach out and spread awareness. Our whole campaign is done on social media. But sometimes all we need to do is educate these children so they are aware of the consequences. And when they do get bullied, they know what to do and they know the right steps to take. So it doesn't result in a bigger situation and them leading to them developing mental health issues just so they know how to deal with it. So it's really all about educating them and so that they know and they're aware.
Right. Thanks so much for that. Now, I think now the viewers have gotten to know you a little better, as have I. So I would like to talk more about the app that you've created. So what is Dunkably?
So, Dunkabully is a brilliant platform to enable schools to tackle bullying by providing students with a tool to gain confidence so they can go talk about their problems surrounding bullying. It's like a smart, creative, and innovative way to educate children about bullying, the effects, how to recover from it, and help victims of bullying speak out about their feelings to a counselor remotely. And it has three main features, which we like to call the three E's: educating, exploring, and engaging. Our first feature, engaging, is where you can message counselors and speak to them anonymously about what you're going through because, sometimes children don't always feel as comfortable speaking out because they're scared of being labeled as a snitch or weak. And then we have our exploring section where you can read through other people's stories because that can also help them gain confidence. And then we have our educating section. Like I stated previously, it's all about educating the students and raising awareness so that they take the right steps. And on this section, you can read up on all the different kinds of bullying, how to identify them, and also small tips on how to overcome it, and even educational videos.
Right, that's great. Can you just talk a little bit more about how a person who has been bullied would essentially use the app step by step, as in how they would access it, how the different features where they'll be, all of that?
Yeah, so let me put it into perspective for you. Let's say a child is getting bullied at school and some kids are calling them names. So they would go home and they would feel alone and isolated and like they don't have anyone to speak to. And then they could discover Dunkabully on the App Store. So they could go to our app and they could see if it could help them. And they download our app and they look through all the features and they realize that they have this way of talking to someone anonymously, because the reason that they were keeping it all to themselves is because they didn't want the bully to find out, because usually they're scared of the bully finding out and the bullying becoming worse and them being labeled as almost weak. So they download the app, they answer a few questions on our messaging section, and we send that information to a counselor that they pick, and they can just begin messaging the counselor and getting the proper help that they need. and just having a conversation with them so they can really speak out about their issues and realize how to deal with it.
Right. Thanks so much. I do have a question though. This app is mainly for children, right?
Yes.
So what do you suggest people of my age or people older than me when they are bullied? What we should do?
It's actually the exact same thing, no matter what age it is, whether it's as young as year 6 or going all the way up to your age. Any age it's the same thing. Just go and speak to someone, because what people don't realize is just letting out their emotions can make them feel so much better.
Right. Thanks so much. I want to ask you what your inspiration for the app was. Is it a kind of a personal experience, or how did the idea of Dunkabully come to mind?
So let me share a story with you. So ever since I was little, I've always had a passion for helping people out and educating myself on mental health, because that was a topic that was really interesting to me. Very recently in middle school, I saw some of my friends getting bullied throughout middle school, and I saw how much it affected them that they couldn't speak out about it. Bullying has become normalized, especially in middle school and high school. And if you tell someone that you're being bullied, or you speak out about what's happening, it just leads to more and more bullying. Due to this, I saw my friends deciding not to speak out about their issues, and they were just holding all their emotions in, which meant that they had to deal with it all by themselves. Keep in mind that they're only teenagers and they're only 13. So bottling up their emotions really isn't good for their mental health, and it can lead to depression, anxiety, it can have an impact on your future, and so much more. I saw how upset and alone my friends felt, and I really wanted to take action and do something about it. So I came around to creating Dunkabully. Like, what would you do if you saw your friends going through something like this?
I would talk to them about it, but honestly, if I wasn't able to help them out, I would genuinely suggest help, because I don't want to give someone wrong information as well and then mess them up even more. So for
Yes.
me, the ideal thing to do is to get them some help and do the best that I can.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Exactly.
think that's what you try to do with the app. Yeah.
Yeah.
We did speak about not talking about bullying affect children's mental health. How do you think that happens? Like, how does not speaking out affect one's mental health?
So when a child is going through something, they keep it all to themselves. When they keep it to themselves, it causes them to bottle up all these emotions and sit on them, and it all just keeps expanding and expanding. Because if you don't do anything about it, it's not going to stop. And then this becomes very harmful to your mental health, because you're dealing with it all by yourself, and it can make you feel isolated and overwhelmed. And this has knock-on effects, and it can lead to many mental health issues, the most common being depression and anxiety. And it's now especially common between young teens, and holding all of this in just really isn't good, and it's causing them to struggle a lot. And this also, just not speaking out, it can lead to decreased academic achievements, poor physical health as well, and much more.
So you just mentioned that not speaking out leads to depression and anxiety. Out of a lot of other problems, this is the most common, right?
Yes.
So my question is, if someone has reached this level, say they haven't spoken out about, them being bullied or them bullying someone, and this has caused them to, have mental health problems. Uh, what would you suggest someone like that should do? I
So
mean, is it too late then? What kind of measures can be taken then?
So it's never too late, but I do not think, no matter what you say or what anyone says, the people that are going through all of this, they're still scared, and they won't act on it, but it's about the people around them and the support that the people around them can give. So if you're not going through bullying, it's important that you educate yourself about it and how you can identify if someone is going through these issues, because then they feel comfortable speaking to you. So whenever you speak to someone, you have to make sure that they feel comfortable talking to you. So that's all about developing yourself, and you have to create an environment where others feel safe and comfortable to come and speak to you, and then you can give them help as well.
Right, and I think stuff going on at home plays a very important role about how the children act and behave and how they speak out. So I wanted to ask, how can parents identify if their child is being bullied?
So, a major sign of a child's unhappiness is if they have a sudden change of behavior, whether that's in food, if they're eating too much or eating too less, if they don't enjoy the activities that they usually do. Also, unjustified scars, bruises, whether you see that they're being mentally stressed all the time, are all signs of bullying. Also, if they stop going out with their friends or prefer to stay at home and lock themselves in their rooms with no interactions, are also major signs of bullying. Like if they seem afraid to go to school and walking to school, riding on the bus, if this is scaring them, it could identify to be that they're being bullied. And if they don't want to take part in organized activities, if they lost interest in schoolwork or suddenly start doing poorly in school, and just seem all their behavior just changes, and they're always appearing sad, moody, teary. And also another thing is sleep patterns. If they're oversleeping or they're not sleeping enough, this could also be signs of bullying. And when you're a parent and you identify these signs, you have to speak to your child. A major problem is parents are unable to create this environment where children feel safe to speak to them. So some parents are really good at it and some need a little improvement on it, but it's all about creating that comfortable environment around you.
Thank you, Ishita. We do have a question from the our live audience. Uh, Viresh Chopra is asking, how does a young child become aware that such an app is available on the social media? I mean, how do you make people aware of the app?
Yeah, so when we first launch our app, our launch is going to be approaching schools. So we will be approaching schools, and the schools will be implementing the app in their devices, and they will be promoting it. And also, the way that we're campaigning our app right now is through social media. Like I said, our world revolves around social media and technology. And I think it's the best way to promote the app because that's where everyone is right now. And just studying the algorithm is the best way to promote it.
Thank you. I hope your question was answered. The next question that I have for you is, I'm sure there are cases that in which there are no signs that show that the person is being bullied, but he or she still is. Uh, I mean, what do you say about how we should take care of such cases? How to identify them, how to support them? Because in this case, the outside world has no idea at all that they're being bullied. So, what do you suggest we do for cases like these?
So actually, like you said, there's no way of identifying them. So it's just all about being there for your friends and family, checking up on them every once in a while. Just being there for someone is an amazing step to take, because even the support of one person can make such a big difference to a victim, because they begin feeling less alone and less isolated because they feel like there's someone with them and they feel safe. Because when someone makes them feel safe, they're going to start opening up and they're going to talk about what they're going through. So it's all just about checking up with your friends and family every so often. Even if they seem like they're the happiest person in the world, it's so easy to cover what you're going through. So it's so important to check up on your friends and family.
I think that, to be fair, helps with every medical issue that a person's facing. Not
Mhm.
just bullying, depression, anxiety. Everything is just sorted out through people talking, and I mean that's the way of life.
Yeah, so just like I said, checking up on someone, you're creating that comfortable environment that needs to be created.
Again, speaking on those lines, how do you think parents and friends can be present and supportive of someone who's being bullied?
So, just like I said, just being there for someone is an
Mhm.
amazing step to take. So, another thing that is there is if you're a bystander. So, a bystander is someone that's there to stand, that's witnessing all of the bullies. And something that can help make a victim feel so much better is if they become an upstander. So, an upstander is someone that stands up for the victim. So a lot of times they don't speak to the bully and they don't confront the bully. They don't stand up for the victim because they're scared that they will be the new victim. But when someone is there for you and when someone is there to support you, it makes the victim feel so much less isolated, and they're less alone, and they feel safe and comfortable because there's someone right next to them that they can speak to everything about.
Right. Uh, Another question that I have is, what do you think about people standing up to the bullies themselves? I mean, for example, say I'm getting bullied, and as a result, I have this negative energy like growing up inside of me, and I use that to instead stand up to the bully and not in the correct way. Uh, I myself try to bully them out of bullying me. So, what do you think that this kind of situation leads to?
Yeah, see, this is a very common situation, and it is not a good situation to be in at all. So there's nothing really you can do about it, but it's like if you know how much it hurts you, when someone's bullying you, you're getting hurt, and you know how much it's affecting you and your mental health, you would usually not do that back to them. But the thing is, if you want to stand up to your bully, the getting advice from a counselor or someone that can give you the help that you need is the best way to do it, because when you go speak to a counselor, they will tell you how to deal with it, what to do, and that way you start building up this confidence, and you can start telling the bully, hey, this isn't nice, what you're doing isn't okay, and all of that kind of stuff.
Right. And I mean, yeah, that's true. But I just kind of I was thinking, uh, say I am at that stage, and that kind of negative energy just negates everything that everyone else is saying, and I don't want to listen to anyone else. I'm sure stuff like this would happen if people are being bullied. I mean, again, I don't have any personal experience, so I can't speak much on the topic. But I'm just, guessing, because that's just how the mind works. If there's too much negative energy, I won't be able to listen to what anyone else is telling me. And how would you suggest that I get help in that situation? Because at this point I don't want to listen to anyone else, and I just want to stand up to the bully. I think punch him out, something like that. And I really need help at that stage, because I think that would be a terminal case, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, so a lot of the times, actually, bullies bully other people to rise above them and gain more power because they have their own insecurities themselves. So when it comes to this situation, there's not much that they can actually do. But again, when there's a victim, the victim, if they're educated properly, they go stand up. They go speak to someone, and when they speak to someone, there's the counselor, and the counselor is there. So we have our school counselor in my school, and our school counselor is there to help everyone. So when the victim goes and talks to the counselor, obviously it's all in one school, so everyone knows everyone. It's that kind of situation. So when the victim goes and talks to the counselor will realize what's happening, and they know what to do. They can analyze the situation, and if they see that this bullying is coming out of previous experience, then
Mhm.
they will go and approach the bully and speak to them about it. And because there's not much you can do in these kinds of situations except go talk to one. That's my biggest tip, to go talk to somebody.
Okay. Thanks. We have another question from the audience. How did your school and teachers support when you came up with the idea of the project?
Yeah, so my school and teachers, everyone has been so supportive and so happy for me. So they've been supporting me through everything, and I've had nothing but positive feedback about the app because they believe what I'm doing is a really important issue and what I'm speaking about is really great.
Yeah, I think everyone watching, and myself included, everyone thinks that this is a brilliant initiative, and I think there should be more people like you to come up with such initiatives and some such ideas to help increase mental health awareness and stop the spread of bullying.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah. And I do want to ask you, I mean, being in school and in the eighth grade, it must be really hard to balance, uh, promoting the app, creating the app, how maintaining it, how it works, along with your school life. So, how do you balance all of it? I mean, what does your day usually look like?
So it's honestly about just making time. So if you're passionate about something, you will find the time, you will create the time to do it, whether that means taking free time out of your weekend, waking up earlier, staying up later, skipping a day to go out with your friends. It's all about making sacrifices so you can create that time for yourself. Because if you're passionate about something and you really want to do it, you will create that routine and you will split your day accordingly and balance everything out. So for me at the start, it was really difficult because I was so new to this and I did not know how to manage it all. But eventually I started creating a strict routine and it stuck with me and helped me.
Yeah, I think a good routine is the best way to start with any habit. In I mean, not just this, but even the small, household habits. A good routine goes a long way.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's all about creating
yeah, no,
habits and everything.
yeah. I mean, yeah, and I think you get used to it after a while.
Yeah.
As you said, it will be really hard in the start, and now it's all gone. It works like normal now, right?
Yes, definitely.
You did get recognized by Sheikh Hamdan about your campaign, right?
Mhm.
Can you talk more about this recognition, and can you also tell us about how it helped you increase your outreach?
Yeah, so it all started when me and some of my friends entered this competition called Young City Makers. So, Young City Makers is a competition that was set by the UAE government where young teens aged 11 to 18 create ideas for new government services or improving government services that already exists. So, me and my friends, we sent out ideas and we got a call back for an interview. We did the interview where they asked us questions about the idea, and then we called back yet again, and we were told that we were going to the finals. So then we spent a whole week presenting and preparing to present to Sheikh Hamdan, who was then going to decide the winner out of everyone in the finals. So we worked with coaches, UAE government officials, and so much more to build up our whole presentation. So when it got to the day, I was the chosen speaker out of our group, and I spoke to Sheikh Hamdan and presented our idea, and so did all the other teams. So then what happened was Sheikh Hamdan went into this almost box and he decided who the winner of the championship was going to be. So then he came out and our team was announced the winner, and we won 10,000 dirhams. And this 10,000 dirhams is actually what we use to build the app. So building an app obviously costs a lot of money. And without the prize money, we wouldn't have been able to build the app and be at the stage that we're currently at. So when we originally came up with the idea for the app, my dad did offer to fund for the app, but he said that he wanted 25% share with his company, and I didn't really want that, so I went out there and won the competition. So this has really helped our outreach, because when you think of our brand name, you would essentially think of me, and my name has been associated and gotten a lot of attraction since since I won the competition, and it was set by Sheikh Hamdan.
Right. That's really great to hear. Uh, we would also like to know more about the rest of the team. How many people are involved in the creation of Dunkabully?
So it was me and my dad, and we have a team of developers. So me and my dad, we work on the marketing side, and we work on all the ideas, designs, and everything. And we work on building the app, building our brand name, reaching out to schools if they want to use our app and implement our app in their schools. And he's really taught me everything I know, because, like I said at the start, I was really clueless about everything, and I just had this idea. And so by then, I just started educating myself and gaining this knowledge. And then we have our team of developers who help us develop the app, come up with new ideas, designs, and everything.
Right. No, this is really great to hear. I think the next question that I have was already asked by the audience. Uh, it's how do you promote your campaign? I think you've already answered this, but I also wanted to know is how do you think you can increase outreach through promotion?
Yeah, so with our campaign, like I said, we did it on social media. We have an active Instagram, Twitter that we post on every 2 days. So what I did before we actually opened our pages is I studied the Instagram algorithm. And so for each page, it goes saves, shares, comments, and likes. So I used this to my advantage to grow my account and my page. And because of knowing this algorithm, I managed to reach Gulf News, and the journalist looked through our social media and reached out to us to do an interview and publish an article about the initiative. This then helped us get recognized by news channels, radio shows, podcast hosts, and some of the most influential people in the UAE have reached out to us. And this is all through social media. And I make my own graphics and I post them. And these graphics could be from sneak peeks of our app, educating others about the effects of bullying, knock on effects. And when I think about improving the algorithm, considering the success that we've had promoting our campaign through social media, I think our method is working well. But in the future, I would definitely look towards building more of a brand name for ourselves. So maybe something like creating characters for a brand, like ambassadors, and
Mhm.
other ways that we can build our brand. And so it's almost like when someone thinks of our company and thinks of our app, they think of this character, or when they see the character, they know that it's associated with our app. But other than that, I'm really happy with the direction that we're headed towards.
That's really nice. I did want to ask though, I mean, being 13 years of age and getting a lot of recognition, how does that feel personally? I mean, obviously that you're doing something great and that must feel amazing. But keeping that aside, how does the recognition feel to you personally?
I'm actually really happy with the recognition, because the recognition is helping us build our app and grow more traction. So I've worked really hard on this app. I worked through summer, I worked through weekends, and the recognition feels really good, because it's almost like all our hard work has actually paid off, and it makes me feel really happy that it's all working and coming into place, and that we're helping so many people.
Right. And what would the future of the app hold as such? Will it have like a different section for adults? Will it, have more features that people can access in the future? I mean, obviously, it's just in the beginning stages right now. So, what would the development of the app be like?
So we actually have very high ambitions for the future. We want it to go so big that every household knows about it. And like I said, we're going to approach schools first. And once we make profit, we're looking to expand our apps and bring it out to individuals, reach out to external counselors that aren't part of schools. And from there, we want to adapt the app so the adults can use it as well. and corporates, because workplace bullying is also a very big thing. It's not just schools and children, because like I said, any age can experience bullying, and we can use the app to fight workplace bullying as well. And also towards the future, I would love to incorporate more mental health into our app. Right now, it surrounds bullying mainly, but I'd love to bring other aspects into it as well. And if our app does do well, I would love to take it worldwide. So currently it is only in the UAE, where you have access to the messaging feature, but I would love to take it worldwide, where we can take it to India, Oman, and I would like it to reach high, and I have very high ambitions, which I am hoping to achieve with hard work and dedication.
Yeah, I think that also answers the next two questions that our audience asked, which were, are there plans implementing the app in India as bullying has become generalized, not talked about at all? And the second question was, is the app rolled out for use by schools and students across geographies, or is the reach restricted to Dubai? I think this is something that is amazing that you're doing. It speaks a lot, especially since you're 13 years of age and you've been able to recognize your goals and ambitions very early. I mean, way earlier than I did. Obviously, I came to a decision much later in my life, but this is something that you're doing. It's amazing, and I think everyone that's watched the show today would agree with me in saying that we need more people like you who are able to identify issues in the world and do something about it. Have the courage to do something about it, especially something as sensitive as bullying. It just talks a lot, and it was great to having talked to you.
Thank you so much. That really does mean a lot to me. Thank you.
I think we're pretty much done with the conversation part of the show today. I would like to thank you to give us such wonderful insights about how the world of bullying actually is, and how it can have an impact on a person's life, not just a child, but a person of any age, the kind of impact that it can have on them. So thank you so much for joining us today for a brilliant 64th edition of the TLR shows. Uh, I would like to tell our viewers to please follow TLR now on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, and Twitter to stay updated with the upcoming shows. My name is Ansh Chandna, and I thank you all for attending the show today.
Thank you so much.